disgusting nausea. When you lived in the 80s, to this day, at my age, when I see the word AIDS printed, AIDS, immediately some kind of feeling comes over me. Uh, Fear. Yeah, to this day, I still, when I see that word, we grew up in the 80s. AIDS was a plague from God. As Billy Milano said, that's what you get for having a penis up your ass. You should have used a condom. That's what you get for swallowing another man's load. It was something like that. You should have used a condom, but I mean, AIDS, it wasn't that simple. But that was what Newsweek told you when it first came out, that it was, they tried to blame it on homosexuals, although it was rampant in the homosexual community. They carried it. It is kind of a plague from God. It was. They promised it would be like cancer. We thought we were going to, plus the threat of nuclear war and HIV, like that old Skull record, HIV, AIDS. When you see that word AIDS, you didn't grow up in the 80s. I did. That word still to this day. I mean, it's so treatable now. It's like it's like having chicken pox or something. You can treat AIDS. But they told us that the missiles were to and fro and that we all were going to die. And it was just some weird African strain of shit uh, but it ravaged everyone eventually. Intravenous drug users passed it on, and then it's just curable now. But I can tell you didn't grow up then. You use that term flippantly, like that's a fucking joke. I don't think that anybody since my generation has had to fear anything like that, except for 9/11. That was the last Challenger explosion, the last bad accident that they leaked out. AIDS was what it did to you was yeah. You ain't that old, Skull. You ain't that old. You know what I mean? Those were different times. That's Rich in the middle with the skateboard. That's me at the upper left hand right, telling you to hang loose and pray Satan. You didn't know what that AIDS was. That's what I suspected. This guy's asking me again. That's what I suspected Johnny Thunders died of. That's what I suspected Kurt Cobain died from, but I since retract that theory. But I think Johnny Thunders might have, definitely. He just did not look good. He looked like HIV. He was paper doll white, geisha girl white, you know. I don't think it was leukemia. It was something like that. That's what I suspected. I had a theory for a long time. Cobain had AIDS, and and it was like 1994. Yeah, because in 94, you still might kill yourself over something like that. But that's what this guy's asking me because I did this video a long time ago. No, I don't know what happened to Cobain. But I think that's what happened to Johnny Thunders. Some kind of weird junkie virus before they could identify it as AIDS. But yeah, you see the word AIDS, it should immediately instill terror in you. If it doesn't, I can't relate to you. Well, what you got is social HIV. That's for sure. Because when did Thunders die? 92? 99, 91? I don't know. But that's another thing, like the threat of, that was the great thing about the 80s. You had to live on your toes. And then the crack epidemic ravaged motherfuckers. And it further contributed to the maelstrom of damnation, rapture, and revelations. Stoking that infernal fucking beast. That black smoke, sooty fucking infernal furnace just stoked. Fucking burning coal. screaming freight train of the 1980s. And then there was Star Wars. And then there was the Star Wars plans going into effect. It's like, what the fuck is going on in the world? Star Wars? Ronald Reagan? Spuds McKenzie? Ronald Reagan and Gumby comes back. I didn't understand what the fuck was going on. Who the fuck is Gumby? Oh, I remember. You know what I mean? That was from our day. Oh, yeah. That's what was going on in the 80s. You know, the last one that didn't go off was Y2K. It was just a sick merchandising joke for people to cash in real quick. Remember that everybody had a Y2K T-shirt or a Y2K hat or a Y2K snow cap, and it said Y2K, and it was like November of '99. So you had like 2 months before you would find out, and it was the height of Y2K. That was the last one that didn't go off. Or the analog to digital conversion, that was a big wave. I felt that. Most people, that shit went ignored. Like if you had like an old TRS-80 computer or a fucking VIC-20 or Commodore 64, and that might be affected by Y2K. I had an IBM at that time. I had 3 computers in my house during Y2K. So like one of them, um, the whole file system did go back to 1980, the day DOS was invented, and the clock reset, and it was annoying, and it only affected the floppy disk. It wasn't a big deal, but I remember that, and I took note of it. I'm like, oh, 2000 that Y2K analog to digital conversion, which was true. And then came Time Warner, tempting you with the fruit of another, just mincing and just that magic carpet ride of Roadrunner. That's what it first was, Roadrunner. Time Warner. The end of Darth Vader in the phone booth. That was it. That was the end. But that was the 80s. 90s were an easy ride.